Hello everyone, this is Pablo, callsign VA3HDL. About a year and a half ago, I released the very first version of Ham Dashboard, a simple idea that turned into a project I have been improving ever since. Today I want to walk you through everything that has changed since that initial launch, the improvements, the new features, and how the dashboard has grown into something much more powerful and flexible for amateur radio operators. Let's get started. One of the biggest upgrades has been the tile system. Multiple images per tile. Tiles can now cycle through as many images as you want. Perfect for weather snapshots, band condition charts, APRS maps, webcams, or propagation graphs. Per tile refresh intervals. Each tile can now be refreshed individually with its own timing. This means low priority tiles refresh slowly, and fast-changing data can update as often as you need. Smooth transitions and more reliable loading. Rotation is now smoother, image handling is more robust, and the dashboard no longer freezes if one external image fails to load. You can now embed frames directly into tiles. This opens up tons of possibilities. Leave APRS maps, online propagation dashboards, weather radar loops, web UIs from local devices, YouTube live streams, and pretty much any web page that allows embedding. It makes the dashboard feel much more alive and much more customizable. Over the past year and a half, I have put effort into making the setup much easier. Improvements include cleaner config.js format, more consistent tile definitions, better error handling, more options to tailor refresh timing, tile scaling, and content type. Even if you've never touched web development, you can configure the dashboard with a few lines of text. These are some of the new features for 2026 already implemented. Additional configurations loading on the fly. Users can now add additional configurations to the menu. Users can also load any configuration file on the fly. This literally provides infinity number of dashboard configurations that you can switch to depending on your current situation, for example, a pure POTA setup, or a weather monitoring setup, or a contest or field day, or hopefully not an emergency. Improved menu navigation. Hard-coded menu options include now icons to distinguish from the menu options coming from the user configuration. Users can now load and test new configurations either by adding a menu option or using a generic hard-coded menu option called Load CFG. A new hard-coded menu option appears every time the configuration is loaded from a different file than the standard config.js file. A minor improvement on the new sticker that now pauses on mouse hover for reading or opening link. Here is how you add a new dashboard configuration to the menu. Locate the URL variable on the config.js file. Add a new element to the array. The first value is the color code for the menu. The second value is the text you want to display on the menu. The third value is the name of the configuration file. In this case, I call mine satellite.js. Optionally, you can add the number 1, a comma, and the letter R between quotes if you wish to display on the menu on the right side of the screen. Now the dashboard displays a star icon on the automatic hard-coded menu options. Also displays a cogwheel icon on the additional configurations that can be loaded via the menu. And there are a couple new options on the menu to load configurations on the fly and to be able to come back later to the startup config.js dashboard. So here are these options. We load the satellite dashboard and we have the way back to the original config. Similarly, we can load any config that we want to test and then later come back to our original config. Now let's try to load any other config file we have and we want to test. I look for Load CFG on the right menu and click the option. I am now presented with the operating system file selector. I navigate and select the file that I want to load and click open. For example, this one f4jlf.js, and then I click open. Once the new dashboard loads, I always have automatically added the option to come back to my original configuration. The layout engine has also improved. Better grid support, more reliable sizing on ultra-wide or portrait monitors, improved scaling on mobile and tablets, smoother full-screen behavior, cleaner fallback handling when content is temporarily unavailable. This makes it perfect as a shack monitor, a portable field dashboard, or even a wall-mounted display. Here is the layout of my station. My Ham dashboard runs on the monitor to the right. I picked all 4 monitors from the thrift store and I spent less than $50 for all of them. These monitors are all connected to my main station computer. I picked the TV on the top from the trash and fixed the backlight LED. Then I connected a Raspberry Pi running ham clock to this TV. You do not need to break the bank to have a multi-monitor setup. Another major addition is the RSS news ticker. You can add to the ticker ham radio news, weather alerts, DX clusters, emergency information, or anything you want to monitor. It scrolls along the bottom of your dashboard and updates automatically. This keeps you informed, while the rest of the dashboard remains dedicated to visual data. People have been using Ham Dashboard for monitoring HFBF conditions, tracking storms and weather radar, APRS, live tracking, clubhouse displays, GoKit portable dashboards, Raspberry Pi powered station monitors. It has been awesome seeing how creative the community has been. If you've got ideas or requests, put them in the comments below. If you want to try Ham Dashboard yourself, the link is in the description. Feel free to fork it, customize it, and make it your own. That is the whole point. Thanks for watching, and thanks to everyone who has supported the project since the beginning. This is VA3HDL 73, and see you in the next one.